Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and the first chapter of the World Soul Saga is officially releasing in just a handful of weeks. If you haven't been playing but are craving that itch to return back into Azeroth one more time, then now might be a good time to come back to get a character caught up before the next expansion. And currently there are 2 events active that will allow you to gain a bunch of experience rather quickly to catch up to everybody else in preparation for the next expansion, especially if you're coming back for the Radiant Echoes pre-patch event, which has recently saw a bit of a revamp where they wanted to restructure it a little bit, creating a much more comprehensive leveling experience for any low-level alts that allows you to gain a ton of experience in rather very little time spent. But also, MoP Remix is still on the table that offers fantastic and efficient experience gains for any of you that have not played in that mode so far. So in today's video, I want to go over the most efficient ways for you to catch up and level a character to max level ahead of the next expansion. As always, if you want to see more War Within videos like these, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. Otherwise, let's dive right into how you can level as quickly as possible. So if you're trying to level through the pre-patch event, and I really do recommend doing so because the leveling experience is much faster than I anticipated, especially after they gave it a quick rework on the PTR and then pushed the rework onto the live realms. You can start interacting with Radiant Echoes on any character starting at level 10. Previously though, I did see a blue post that read that you must have completed the Harbinger questline first before you can interact with Radiant Echoes. That requirement might have been removed because I hopped on another character that's never done the Harbinger questline, but all of my low-level characters were able to interact with the Radiant Echoes quest immediately. So you should be able to start interacting with Radiant Echoes on any character that's at least level 10. You should be able to get a quest in order to head to Orgrimmar or Stormwind, take portal to the Legion Dalaran, head down into the portal chambers, talk to Khadgar, and then start participating in all the Radiant Echoes pre-patch events. When it comes to me actually doing these events on the other day, I was getting about a level every 5 minutes, which was much faster than expected. This is a drastic increase compared to the initial version of Radiant Echoes that went out on the live realms. And the rework for Radiant Echoes has been absolutely fantastic. Your leveling speeds, however, are probably going to be much faster on lower level characters, as I was able to get about a level every 5 minutes between levels 40, 50, and 60. But lower level characters, after I did some testing, can go even faster, getting a couple of levels every 5 minutes or so. But it's safe to say that the Radiant Echoes revamp has been an amazing experience, and right now, if you look to level a character while also grinding out the Radiant Echoes for all its rewards, now is the perfect time to make it come back, get a character up and running, and get prepped for the War Within expansion. The best way to start leveling through Radiant Echoes though is to join as many events as possible. The faster you complete each and every single one of the events, the more experience you can gain. So it's not about how much help or how much participation you do per event, but rather how many events you can be a part of at a time. Non-boss events where you do a variety of different objectives like slaying enemies or gathering resources where you're not fighting one singular boss, those are probably some of the fastest ones you can complete. If you're part of a big group, you can spam these as fast as soon as possible, and these earn you a great amount of experience and are very easy to complete, and most groups end up finishing them out in just moments. The boss events, however, where groups are required to defeat some kind of a big bad or a big elite of the zone, those do take a little bit longer since they buffed up the health of these bosses by quite a bit. I still think though, even though they take a little bit longer, these are still worth tagging as the event is ending. Or unless if your group is completely geared to the teeth and are killing them very efficiently, then these events are still worth doing it. But if let's say you're flying by one of those boss events and the boss is very low on health, you might as well swoop down, get a tag, get the XP, and then you can move on to another event. If anything though, it's a good idea to stick with big groups and go where other players are going. It's all about completing as many events as possible, and for the most part, if the group goes to the same events and completes it at the same time, this way you can earn experience efficiently as a group rather than as a solo player. The main boss event as well, the final one once you fill up the bar for the Radiant Echoes event, the boss fight for Ragnaros, Onyxia, or Lich King also award quite a bit of XP, but do take a little bit of time, and you may run into a little bit of lag or frame drops or latency issues because of just the amount of people that are constantly interacting with these events on the regular. These events can potentially put you in a danger spot on a low level character, since this event is not amazing when it comes to gearing a character. You're not really rewarded too much gear in order to keep up with the damage and the levels that your character is gaining. So there's a good chance that event specifically could kill you. So if you are playing on a lower level character, try to stay in a safe spot away from the boss as best you can and do whatever damage you can. Now, if you are going to be leveling through Radiant Echoes, it is a good idea to have a character set up ahead of time. And for this event specifically, I recommend heirlooms, because gearing a character and maintaining gear through this event is going to be rather difficult. This event, no matter how many times I've done it on any character, the gear drops are not quite as good as the level that your character currently is, and they're not really going to be able to keep up with you as efficiently. So heirlooms is the best way to get around it. Buying up heirlooms and upgrading them allows them to scale with your character's level, which is going to be a huge convenience for the Radiant Echoes specifically. On top of it, there's also a couple of methods that we can utilize to further increase our experience gains, such as the Darkmoon Fair, which as of making of this video is currently active. So if you haven't picked up your Darkmoon Fair experience buff, just make sure to ride the carousel or the roller coaster for a little bit until you collect an hour worth of experience buff. Another way that we can gain more experience is through XP potions from the expansion of Battle for Azeroth. These are a lot easier to acquire if you've already had or played a character back in BFA and you've already unlocked war fronts and world questing in war fronts. You'll be able to trade in the commendations for either of the factions of the Alliance or Horde at the Quartermaster for experience potions to then use on any of your old characters. As a bonus, if you don't want to have to mail this potion around from one character to the other, just stick them in your Warfront bank and then pick them up on any of your leveling alts anytime you need a potion or two. One of the bigger advantages of leveling through Radiant Echo specifically will be the currency as well as the vendors that you will be able to interact with for this event. As by leveling, you will automatically be able to collect residual memories, which is a warbound transferable currency. This means that you can farm this currency on your leveling low level character and then transfer it onto your main character to buy up all the different mounts as well as cosmetics. During my time spent getting about 10 levels or so, I earned roughly around 14,000 residual memories, which is enough memories in order to buy some of the different collectibles, bags, or even some of the gear for a max level character. So if you're trying to collect all of the different rewards with Radiant Echoes while leveling a character, it's a great opportunity and creates a two birds with one stone type of a strategy. Now, another way to efficiently level a character will be through MoP Remix, which is still active for the next 2 weeks. And if you're someone who's just coming back to the game for the first time and have not experienced MoP Remix, then I feel like you absolutely have to. MoP Remix offers an opportunity for you to collect a bunch of various cosmetics, but also an opportunity to obtain some of the most sought after mounts just through basic gameplay of MoP. It's a new way to experience your class with a variety of different gear elements, gems that can really heavily modify the way your character plays, and an opportunity for you to create one of the most powerful characters in the game to absolutely break past your limits, while also offering a more familiar MoP-esque experience. If you want to level while earning at the same time all of the unique MoP Remix collectibles, then leveling normally through all of the different zones, going through the main storylines, and completing achievements is the most recommended option. It is not the fastest leveling option, but if you want to earn these things while leveling a character, that is a viable method. Though if you're not looking to get collectibles, but rather trying to be most efficient when it comes to your leveling experience, then you should immediately start spamming dungeons as well as raids. So the fastest leveling strategy is going to start with you spamming heroic dungeons up until level 25. As you do heroic dungeons, every single boss that you slay is going to have an experience bonus item on them, and you want to make sure not to loot that item. You can loot everything else but those, because you will actually want to redeem those items later. When you don't pick up those items from the bosses, they'll instead go into your mailbox for later. You don't lose them, you'll just store them in your mailbox up until you can get more efficient experience gains. After you reach level 25, then you will run through Mogishan Vault's level up dungeon on normal difficulty, which are really easy to pug. Just find a group in LFG. You will do the same thing in raids as in dungeons. When you kill bosses, you will not loot the EXP item. Let that go into your mailbox. Everything else can be looted except for that item, so you will want to make sure to disable auto loot function. After Mogishan Vaults, you go back to heroic dungeon spam up until level 35. Then we run Heart of Fear level up raid. After Heart of Fear, we run more heroic dungeons up until level 41 or 42. really up to you. Honestly, the higher level the better. From there on, we'll run Terrace of Eternal Springs as a raid, doing the same thing, making sure to loot everything on the boss except for that level up item. After you run all of the different raids of Mists of Pandaria, you will notice that your cloak, which gains additional stats as you collect various threads from slaying enemies, opening chests, killing rares, killing bosses. Those threads can increase your primary stats like strength, agility, intellect, secondary stats like crit mastery, versa, and haste, tertiaries like speed and avoidance as well as leech, but also experience gains. So after we've boosted up our cloak as much as possible, then we can go to our mailbox and redeem all of those level up tokens. Those tokens will actually provide us with additional experience thanks to all of the XP boosting we've done with our cloak. As we upgrade the XP stat on our cloak, those tokens gain additional value. Now, players using this method have been able to level a level 10 character all the way to level 70 in about on average 4 hours or so. Though many players have been able to cut that time down to be shorter, as short as 2 hours, and even shorter than that, leveling from 10 to 70 in under an hour. By leveling the character to max level in Mists of Pandaria Remix, you will also be able to earn a bunch of bronze as a currency. Bronze has multiple different uses, like to upgrade your character's gear, buy up a variety of different gems for you to experiment with, but also as a currency you could use it to buy cosmetics such as transmogs and even mounts, toys, and pets from the era of Mists of Pandaria. Really up to you how you spend your bronze, but with Mists of Pandaria Remix ending so soon, you might as well purchase some of the more unique Mists of Pandaria Remix only cosmetics as well as mounts before they are gone. And with that, there's going to be 2 efficient ways as to how you can level up a character before the War Within expansion is officially here in just a handful of weeks. As always, I do want to thank all of you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like. I would very much appreciate it. It also pushes the channel out to algorithm, which just allows me to reach more people, which I would be very, very grateful for. Also, join our Discord community. Link to that is in the description. And let me know how you're going to be spending your time leveling a character. Are you mostly going to be grinding through Mists of Pandaria Remix before it is gone? Or are you going to be going through the Radiant Echoes event instead? And as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.